It's 5 o'clock, February 20th. Jussie Smollett. What an interesting character this guy has turned out to be. Once again, if you're living off-world, you don't know who this guy is. It's a gay black actor on the show Empire, which I have never watched. And a few weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, he decided to invent a fake hate crime against himself on a night or early morning when it was like 24 degrees below zero in Chicago, claiming 2 white guys in ski masks attacked him with a noose, Make America Great hats, and bleach, and poured the bleach on him when he was leaving a subway in downtown Chicago. Mind you, it was 24 degrees below zero. I was out that day. There was nobody out during the day, let alone 2 a.m. And these guys supposedly said to him, "This is MAGA country," and they said some anti-gay stuff. And first of all, when I first heard the story, it made me laugh because nobody in their right mind wears a Make America Great hat downtown Chicago. You'll get mugged. You'll get beat. Chicago's filled with all these crazy liberals. They'll kill you. Nobody would do that. So right away, I knew it was not real. And then the media jumps on it, and this is really what I want to talk about. And all these celebrities jumped on the Jussie Smollett bandwagon, screaming about, homophobic. They all did it. All of them. They all jumped on the bandwagon. Except for Fox News. Fox News said alleged attack. Not the rest of them. The rest of them went bonkers. So it took a funny turn of events today because his 2 attackers were paid people that he knows, 2 Nigerian guys who spilled the beans on him. And even the Cook County District Attorney recused herself from pressing charges. It's getting so bizarre. So now it's at a point where you have a whole bunch of liberals that are pissed off that it's not true. So I don't even want to go into this. What I want to go into is something that's deeper. And what it comes down to is the media, social media, all aspects of media, and its impact on us today. 20 years ago, we didn't have this insanity. We have this insanity now because it's react instantly to the moment something happens. Vomit out stupid shit out of your mouth and look like a fool afterwards. We have a whole bunch of Democrats running for the presidential office that decided to weigh in on this as soon as it happened, and now they're deleting tweets and doing all kinds of stupid shit because they look stupid. And it occurred to me as I'm watching this unfold, what we have going on is we have a population of people in this country that lack the ability to critically think. They lack the ability to think. They lack the ability to observe. And all they do is react. And we are in a really bad situation because you have 80%, 90% of the media being liberally biased, pushing a liberal agenda, which is basically it's propaganda. And people are not smart enough to look at this stuff as a whole and say something is fishy, something is wrong. I don't particularly believe this. I want to investigate this for myself. They are willing to believe everything that they are fed from the liberal media. They don't even think. There's no critical thinking whatsoever. Now, I use this Jussie Smollett thing as a great example of this because the minute I heard it, I started to laugh because I knew, wait a minute, there's no white guys walking around with MAGA hats on in downtown Chicago. That's just not going to happen. Let alone say this is MAGA country in Chicago, in Illinois. Chicago is a liberal shithole. I cannot express this more. The state of Illinois is a liberal shithole. Not because Chicago runs the entire state. I've said this before. This piece of shit Midwestern city is filled with nothing but the worst form of Democrats society has to offer. Nothing but the degenerates that they are. I was talking to a UPS guy today. He said the state of Illinois is $3 billion in debt. $3 billion in debt. I am willing to wager that this is the first state in the union that will file bankruptcy, because there is no, and it's because of pension promises. State never made good on the pension promises. They robbed the pension funds, basically, to pay for all their other stupid shit. They are in the process of trying to, they're looking at a pilot program to tax drivers on the miles they put on. Think about this. There's a mass exodus from this state. There are people leaving in droves. You don't think they're going to head out of here quicker than, because I know I'm getting the hell out. The minute they do that, I'm gone. I'm out. I might as well move someplace that's a lot more tax friendly. They tax the hell out of you here. So Illinois in itself is just a garbage state. And Chicago holds the rest of the state hostage, because the majority of the population is in Chicago, and they're all rich liberals, basically. There's really only two types of people in Chicago. There's poor people and people that are beyond wealthy, and I mean beyond wealthy. Normal people can't afford to live in Chicago. You just can't. You can't afford it. They move the hell out. They move out to the suburbs, where they start voting for conservative people. That's just the truth. That's just the way it is. So, the whole point of this whole thing is to be observant. Look at what the media pushes. Watch them get angry, because we live in opposite land. What the media wants to say is good is actually really bad, and what they say is wonderful is horrific. And the favorite thing I love today is, there's three words they want to throw around: racist, bigot, and homophobic. And this is how I look at things. You have the right to hate whatever you want to hate. No one has the right to tell you you can't hate something. You have the right to hate people. I mean, I hate to say this, but you have that right to hate people. It's not a crime to hate anybody. It really isn't. It's not a crime to hate anybody. What's a crime is to physically cause somebody else harm. And the only time it's called a hate crime is if you say something that is deemed a hate crime towards somebody when you're beating their ass. I'll give an example of this. If you decide to get in a bar fight, let's say me being the pale complexion that I am, decides to get into a bar fight with, I don't want to use this example. All right, here's an example. I'll use this example. This is something that I know, this is something that happened recently, recently in the last night actually, that I know about. Black guy gets in an altercation with his white female boss, right? Calls her a white bitch and a cracker, okay? Then threatens, I know where you live, I know your car, I know where you work, blah, 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 blah. Now, if something happens to her, he will be charged with a hate crime because he used those terms. Now, if he just called her a bitch, he'd be all right. If something happens, and he wouldn't get charged with a hate crime. Same thing if you get in a bar fight. You get in a bar fight with some guy. I'm going to use this as a great example of this. All right, you get in a bar fight with a Hispanic guy, and you call him a spick, right? Good for nothing, worthless spick. You punch him in the face. Guess what? You get charged with a hate crime. It's the words you use when you're beating somebody up. It's the words you use when you're committing a physical crime. Is a hate crime. So, this is my advice to people who want to beat other people up. Call them a generic name. Call them an asshole. Call them a jerk. Call them a shithead. Call them something other than what is obvious. So if you're going to decide you're going to beat up somebody that's gay, never say you're gay. Never say he's gay. Never say he's a homo. Never say any of this stuff. If you're just going to beat somebody up, just beat the shit out of them. I mean, I hate to say this, but this is the truth. That's the difference between just regular battery and a hate crime. So if you don't like somebody, just beat the hell out of them. And it's best not to even say anything, but you can call him an asshole because that's generic. That is how you get a hate crime. And not many people realize this. This is what causes a hate crime. So let's say old Jussie Smollett gets out there and he just got beat up by somebody. They never gave him a reason why. You can't charge that person with a hate crime. You can't. The only way you can get him with a hate crime, we're going to beat your ass. We're going to beat your gay ass. Okay, there's a good one. We are going to beat your gay ass. Hate crime. Instead, say, I am going to beat your ass. We are going to beat your ass. Not a hate crime. Get charged with a hate crime becomes a federal thing, if I remember correctly, and the penalties are higher just because of the words you use. Think about the insanity of this. Now, I really want somebody to think about the insanity of this. It's stupid. It really is stupid. What difference does it make when you called somebody, if you're going to beat somebody up, you're causing that person physical harm. It's already a crime. What, you're going to make it a bigger crime just because of the words they use? So, I hate the media. I have gotten to a point where it's really difficult for me to watch anything. It pours over social media. All the news feeds pour over the social media, so you see all the insanity that has embraced our culture these days. You know what? This is how I've gotten to. I'm at a point where I don't care if somebody calls me racist. I don't care if somebody calls me homophobic. I don't care if somebody calls me a bigot. I don't care if somebody calls me Islamophobic. I don't give a damn. Call me whatever you want to call me, because you know what? All that matters is who I am and how I feel about myself, who I know I am. That's all that matters. What other people think of me is none of my business. So I get a huge pleasure out of particularly the transgender community when they call me a bigot. I love that one. And I love it when people call me racist. That's my favorite one. I really enjoy that. I get called that all the time too. So I just embrace it. But pay attention to the media. Think for yourself. Question everything they say. Look at the facts. Be an individual. Don't be part of the group think. Don't be part of the hive mind. Don't be a lemming. I mean, I don't know what else to say about this. But young people are not taught critical thinking skills. They're taught to react. They're taught emotional reactions to whatever comes, whatever they hear, whatever they see. There's no thinking involved whatsoever. They are like mindless creatures. A dog has more cognitive thought than these the latest generations of people. And that's just the plain truth. So I want to congratulate old Jussie Smollett for making America great again and proving once again that liberals are idiots. Thank you, Jussie Smollett.